Hey, good morning, everybody. It is nice to be here happily. Today, I'm going to give you, an insight into AI for CS. Over the last year, a lot has changed in AI. Chat GBT made AI go mainstream, and it was real when my daughter started issuing schools for chat guidelines about how to use Chat GBT, and dad suddenly became a little bit cooler because I worked at an AI company. But so with AI going mainstream, there's been a sea of newcomers coming in. So, and by the way, that's not a bad thing. It's really advanced on the sort of myriad of new use cases for AI, but that can also be a little bit overwhelming. So today you're going to get a crash course for AI for CS, and you may already have a mature tech stack, and this may just be simply a good way to pressure test to confirm you're still on the leading edge. Or if you're just starting down the customer success discipline and trying to plan for the next year or two, my hope is that this gives you a good place to selectively plan on where you want to invest and just maybe generate some ideas. And please know I'm just barely scratching the surface on what's possible, even though this will move very rapid pace. So in my role for customer success, I talk to CS leaders almost weekly. And while that's usually under the auspice of working for Gong, generally those conversations follow some very high level themes, but they boil down to I want to make my teams more efficient, but yet have a bigger impact. And tech touch and digital success is sort of the soup du jour, and understandably so. We really need to look at all the tools out there, though, particularly AI. But the undertone, a lot of those conversations we're hearing from CS leaders are a bit of worry. Like, what are my customers saying? What risks are out there am I missing? What opportunities could be identified if we could just see those broader customer insights? So in the roughly 10 minutes we have today, I'm going to rapidly get to the art of possible flowing your mind. But to ground us, I'm going to nail down on two concepts. One is generative AI, which is essentially people associate with Chat GPT. But it's that like technology where it allows you to generate new content, but sourced from dozens, hundreds, maybe millions of other sources. And then next, for the purposes of today, I'm going to use the term predictive AI, but that's more of a catch-all term. But the point here is to draw a contrast between generative AI and this type of insight for predictive really goes into way beyond content creation, but uses AI to help us understand more, predict more, and by doing so, change the trajectory of our business. So today, as we walk through, you're going to see various examples of generative and predictive peppered throughout today's talk. So since generative AI and Chat GBT is a little bit well known, I'm going to give you a simple use case for the predictive AI bucket. Now, in this example, AI is using concepts. In this case, it happens to be the human language to identify risk. What it's doing is moving beyond keyword. So I want to draw your attention to the second and third sentence. Concept-driven insights will help you ignore the second when looking for risk, meaning this is a person who's just merely talking about, I'm late for a meeting and I was delayed, I apologize, to actually knowing that the third never even uses the word delay. But AI can still flag risk at the third example. It knows the concept is the same as delay, but avoids you from having chased false positives. So with that as the backdrop, using that as just like a introductory use case for predictive versus generative, we're going to dive into some functions today, and we're going to start with probably one of my most favorite teams. I know you think I'd say customer success managers, but customer support. They are a wealth of information, and if used wisely, they are so critical to driving adoption and identifying risk. And for those CS professionals in the room who do not manage a customer support team, this is still for you, because there are insights and information you need from that team. One such example is how solutions are starting to predict escalated tickets. And that's long before they even actually escalate, whether it's certain signals, flags, words being used, making a CSM or support manager aware that an account is showing signs of escalating is immensely helpful. In other use cases, AI can make aiding and getting customer assistance faster, quicker, and better. And yeah, by the way, it also makes us more efficient too. So if you're kind of like, okay, Ben, what kind of tools are kind of out there that I can investigate? I would just a few. LivePerson, Support Logic, and up and comers like Maven AGI are doing some really cool things in this space. And I would encourage you to look at their competitors and look at all their options. But if you're just not sure where to begin, I'm going to weave in some vendors for you to look at through today. Similarly, AI is starting to help the customer education space, and it's helping be more relevant. Educational service leaders are often sort of bemoaning the administrative effort to tag and organize content, how it's labeled, how it flows into a learning path for, say, a certification. AI can speed up that back office process. That means more time that your team can spend building and delivering training. But what's super neat is customer facing aspect here. Think about like a Netflix style mindset of how the system, an LMS system, can start to suggest content based upon the user's activity, their history, and drive that relevance up of content and training that you're proposing to them. And that engagement of your training resources also starts to go up. So companies like Intellum or Absorb LMS are doing some really neat things here. Now, if we look in the realm of customer engagement, we're starting to get more into customer success management and voice of customer. Digital customer hubs are moving beyond the old school create knowledge base, now spend countless hours tuning and refining the search engine, and then oftentimes duplicating that content in product docs, now in a knowledge base, now on a different FAQ. Knowledge bases are starting to turn and be replaced with more generative AI in nature. Ask a question, get a full answer back, pulling and drawing from a variety of resources to do so. Next is we start thinking about generative AI solutions to speed up how we engage with our customers. We associate tech touch and digital success with sometimes losing that personalization in order to gain efficiency. And I would challenge us to go, you can actually, and AIs can help us now start to balance both. With one click of a button, you can understand what went on in a phone call, understand how to summarize that phone call, and then personalize an email all to the customer with really using generative AI solutions to automate a lot of that work and keep the personalization. But what's even cooler is what's actually said in those interactions. Imagine being able to track what percentage of interactions we've had a specific talk track with our customers. So did we release a new product? Did we release a new feature? Have our CSMs been talking about those things to our customers? AI tools can also surface what was said to customers. So companies like, yes, Gong, but also Gainsight, and even our friends here at EverAfter with WordWan are playing in some of these spaces. Finally, as we look at things like voice of customer, AI is really speeding up ways to understand what's being said. Everybody remember the days of trying to manually parse through NPS surveys or support CSAT or customer effort score responses. There are starting to be generative AI solutions really helping understand and speed up those insights. And by the way, real-time conversations from customers that use, again, concept-based AIs can actually tell us, did a customer say something on a call or in an email that actually triggers risk? So think about our earlier example we showed on the word delay. AI can help you see around the corner through various permutations of risk and flag renewals as if the customer says, I'm stuck in procurement, or a leader is just not seeing the value, and flag a renewal that maybe quarters off and tell you, hey, you've got something in here to address. Plus, with generative AI, voice of customer is no longer bound by language differences. Global companies are going to start to be able to aggregate and understand trends across multiple regions and multiple languages. So this is your crash course in understanding how AI can start to play in the post-sale journey and customer journey. But I will say there's one last thing, and this may come up as you start talking internally to your teams or assessing providers out there. We start to hear a lot and a lot of research about security and accuracy really becoming a hot topic. Now, what I would say is just to remind you, it doesn't mean that providers who are using what we call LLMs or large language models that are public should be totally avoided. That's not the case. But do ask some more questions there. And as a friendly reminder, AI is starting to move beyond activity. So just because we talked 7 times this month doesn't mean you're going to renew. So you may be hearing some not so great things in those 7 interactions. So, concept-based AIs are getting way more advanced, and in the next year or two, they're going to certainly even go even further. So with that said, I just wanted to say thank you for your time today. I know that there is a lot of information in here. So I love connecting with fellow CS professionals. So if you just ever want to hit me up on LinkedIn, if you ever want to chat, I love spending time with those out in the group, and I'll learn something from you, I'm sure. So with that said, now coming up next, don't miss the panel on planning for 2024, how to build a winning annual customer success strategy. Stay tuned.